Well, welcome back to No Man's Land. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I am starting over again, and not by choice. If you're wondering why I'm starting over, check out my video on Sussex Epic Fail. I had a problem with the contract on Sussex, and it basically locked me up where I couldn't finish my Sussex series, and basically made it to where I was, going to have to probably get rid of the map and find something else to do. So I basically lost 90 hours on that. And so I try to go into my cache delete, basically what I call today's saved games, and instead of just getting rid of today's saved games, it got rid of my Drostenhof map, which was 120 hours. It got rid of the Sussex map, which was 90 hours. And all the live streaming I've been doing on this map, it pretty much took everything out. So all the fields I've had and the silage harvests I've done, they're kaput. So we start all over again. I have government subsidy signs down to make money so I can help get back in and redecorate and re-put stuff in the way I had it. Pretty much the way I had. The main farm is going to stay similar. I widened this field out and lengthened it compared to what it was last time. This one may not look as wide, but it is a lengthy field, and it comes all the way down here. The BGA I had tucked up here in this little cul-de-sac area, and it came out to right about here and came around and stuff like that. But this time I put it right on this right here. Milk factories is in the milk cell and dairy sell point is in play. So is the sawmill. It's back. Everything that I had developed over here with the garden center, the woolen spinnery or Wamba Waves woolen wear, sweet shop, they're no longer there. I have to redo it. Over where I had the root crops, they're gone. That's gone. So I'm gonna have to redo it. As you see, I've got the straw cell and hay cell point repositioned. But everything here in the main farm is pretty much the way I had it. I did a little more different design as far as the pathways and stuff like that. And I've cut a field over here. And later on, I'm going to go over this direction over here, where these trees are. I think it's right here. Let me see if I'm right. It's in this area, I think. Yeah, because I put the windmill over here. So I'm going to put the windmill back over here where I like its positioning. But over here we're going to put a field in. I'll go back this way and swing back. And you can see it's red because I don't own the land. But eventually I'm going to buy this out back here. Come up to right about here maybe. Whoop. Let's see. Get that straight. And park a field here maybe. I don't know. Maybe a smaller field. And everything. I'll try to keep it. Maybe start it like right about here and go all the way up to where the rock point is. Right about here, and just go all the way that way. And everything. Eventually do that. The grass field I had back behind the pigs is no longer, so I'll have to recut it into the ground. And there, I just basically followed the contour of the shape of the ground. I may have here and down at the other end, but this was going to be the hay field. Farmer Pierce's millstone is gone. I had a field here that I was going to put in, and it was going to come basically along this way, and it was like kind of like a steps, like a jigsaw puzzle. It wasn't a straight field, but yep, that's where I'm at. Just mapping some fields in where I want them cut. I gotta get the stump grinder, the Trex or the T-Rex out here and get these stumps gone and start plowing and fertilizing and liming and cultivating. I've got some equipment so far, not a whole lot, but it'll get going. I'm going to probably put a fence line right down here to divide that, or a hedge line. I kind of did it a little bit different this time around on the sawmill. It's going to shape back up again eventually. I just got to take time to do it. I was devastated that I lost those maps. They, there we go. That's more like it. But, here I am back again. Starting all over. Jojo the Wonder Dog is going nuts. His mama just left. She's going to the store. It's one of those things. Is what it is. I can't believe it happened, but I lost all that stuff, and you figure those games would be listed, be all listed and saved separately, but not all, they're on the same day, but with a different name, but no, they're not. And so, basically, they're all gone. They're shot, kaput. There's no getting them back. Somebody told me, said, what about the cloud? Well, this is the PlayStation 4. This isn't Microsoft's, Microsoft Xbox. This is Sony PlayStation, and I have to live with it and just restart over. So if you're wondering what happened to my previous streams and my progress on my previous streams, they're gone. I am basically doing everything all over again. One more time into the breach, dear friends. That's what I'm doing, get it all set up. But now we're back, and we're basically doing a total restart on this map. If you've been with me, that's what happened. I lost this map in its save progress, and I lost the Sussex series because of that freeze up and that lock up on that map. I got some things placed. I got the farm excuse me, pretty much back to normal. Now all I can do is just put in the fields that were once here. I have to start all over again. And I knew I missed a tree. Okay, well, let me go get that T-Rex. It's down here. Excuse me. I'm a little choked up. Take a little sip of water if you don't mind. Pause for this 1 second here in this little shrub. Alright. Now, let's find that T-Rex and get up here and get that tree out of the way so we can start plowing on these fields. But pretty much the farm is set up similar to what it was. You know, cow pens over there. Got the big barn. Storage shed. Got the bunker silo. Got the MF shed pack for silage and storage and hay and stuff like that. Got the regular silo. Got all the same sheds down. Hopefully we can get back up and get it back running. The crops that I had harvested, the silage that I put in the bunker on my last stream, pretty much gone the way of the dodo. It's extinct. I cannot believe that one transport contract caused me to lose all my maps. That was heartbreaking and gut-wrenching at the same time. After about an hour or so calming down, I decided to come back in here and get started. I decided to jump up here in the stream and get these fields recut. Now you're probably saying to yourself, "Say there, Mr. Journey. Don't know if you heard, but because of that lockup and that freeze up I had on Sussex trying to do that lemon contract, I cleared a couple of cache saves thinking it was the Sussex, and it would have put me back to where I began. It deleted my Drostenhof map, it deleted the Sussex map, and all the progress I've made so far on here over the last 4, 5, 6 live streams, gone. Everything was gone. And everything. I was left with one Sussex map, which I haven't played in a while. Yeah. So here I am on No Man's Land. I've got everything. Let me go into this tool so you can see better what I've done. I've got everything back. There's the milk plant. There's that. I don't have all that stuff I had here. I got to get it back in. I've put in the straw shed at a different spot. I'm basically outlining the fields. This field's changed. It's gotten longer. The BGA is no longer over here. It's back. It's right here now. I'm eventually going to cut some more fields. I've got one here. This is where I did a silage harvest, man. God. Yeah, well, this map didn't do it to me. The Sussex map did it. I was doing a lemon contract on Sussex, and I came to do it. All right, Jojo, hush. And 2 pallets were nice and flat. The other ones were all jumbled up, catty corner over on the side and everything else. And I didn't think much of it. I've done lemon contracts before, transport jobs on Sussex, never had any problem. I put them on. I started loaded the first 2 up. The rumbling of my engine just went gone. I didn't hear it. My tractor was moving around doing stuff like that. So JB, and I put the rest of the pallets on, strapped them down, backed up to the trailer, could not hook up to the trailer. Then my tractor froze and locked up, wouldn't go anywhere. So what I've done in the past is I've saved the game, jumped out, restarted, came back on, and usually the pallets are all jumbled and thrown onto the ground, and not in the position where they used to be, but around the trailer. So and usually everything is back to normal. Well, I came back, still couldn't move that tractor. I jumped in the man semi truck, couldn't move it. Jumped into all the other vehicles I have, could not move them whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, let me jump back out. I'm not have to worry about saving. Let me come back and try, and I'll try again. Nothing. Came back a 3rd time, nothing. Came back a 4th time. This time I thought, okay, I'm going to cancel the contract, then save game. Cancel the contract, which means I ate $25,000. I lost it. So they're disappeared. They're gone. They're no longer on the trailer. The strap, I try to back up, make the tractor move to back up. It won't move, so I'm like, okay, let me, since I've canceled, let me jump out and see if that's reset it. Came back in, and I went straight to the contracts, and that contract which I canceled was still showing after that, even though I had canceled previously and saved. So all my vehicles were locked down, could not move them. So it's 90 hours of Let's Play, 13 episodes, plus all the off-screen stuff that I do, gone. Hello, Florida Pierce. So I went to go into save management data, and there you can delete some things out of the cache. And thinking that what I was seeing today, okay, I haven't played on No Man's Land. I only played on Substance. I'm like, okay, I'll erase the first two and see what happens. Deleted them, went back into Sussex, still there. I was talking to Florida Pierce about this while I was going through this. Tried to delete the, cancel the contract again over and over and over again. I mean, this crazy. And 6 more times of going, saving, going out, deleting, coming back in, all that stuff. Finally, I thought, okay, I'll do the cache. Boom, boom. First 2 games. One was showing at around 1. One was showing around about 2:30, and the earliest one was 11 o'clock. And I'm like, well, that's when I started. So I went to the 11 o'clock one, which was less, and that's when I came back in, same stuff. So I thought, I'll delete that 11 o'clock one, and maybe it'll throw me back to where I started around 9 instead of 11, because 11 was the last time I saved, and that's when, and this way before I ever did that transport contract. I deleted it, restarted, came back, go into my career, Dryston Hoff, 120 hours, gone. 90 hours on Sussex, gone. The other Sussex that I play offline by myself, still sitting there. Went over to where No Man's Land was, which was a slot. It wasn't on slot 4; it was on slot 5 on the save. Went to where it was gone. And I came back in here, and it's all blank space. Nothing was placed. So I'm here for the last. I've been on probably since 5 o'clock. So I've been on here since 5 o'clock, basically, almost about 2.5 hours, doing all this stuff all over again, mapping out fields and putting down some stuff, the BGA, but not in the same spot, putting the dairy and the sawmill back, and eventually I'm going to put all the other stuff back here later. That's why I've got the little government subsidy sign, so I can get all that stuff going. Millstone Farm, which is Farmer Pierce's farm, which is also where the horse paddock was, it's gone. So I got to go up there and buy the land and replace it. But what I've been doing is I want to put a field back here. I had a field back here that kind of went like this, wide, and then hammered out, and then came down this route. It was like it wasn't a perfect square. It was like one of those. Right, straight up, and then over this way, and over this way, and then way down this length. Came down this length here, which I don't own this property anymore, and then I went back over this way and squared it off, but it was like an L. Then over here earlier, I had cut a nice field, and I was talking to Farmer Pierce about another field I was going to cut. Where was it at here? Was it behind the BG? It was right here. I was going to put one right here. I thought, I'll put a nice small field right here, and there's that daggone rock sitting right there. And I'm like, I don't want to get rid of the rocks, because then that changes the landscape. So I'm like, okay, I'll just put the field right here and bring it out to the path and make it one small little short little field there. And I came out this way and started putting the field in right here. It was coming. I already had it mapped out. Let's see, back up in this area. Let's see where I'm at. That's the edge of the map. No, where was I at last time? Let me find that drive, that path that Jim has put in here, and I'll show you where right here's where I had the root crop sale point. And you follow the length out here between these trees, and up here was in this area, right before those rocks, right here, set Farmer Pierce's house for Millstone. Over here, set silo, everything just beep, you know. So here I am starting all this stuff again. And I'm back down to like a 300 slot count where I was at 700. Alright, man. Put them babies to bed. They need to sleep. But I'm back at it. Trying to get it going. So this is No Man's Land Part 2. Starting out Part 2. In other words, we're doing basically recreating pretty much what we had, if we can. But instead of going with that big old class harvester, I want to go with the new John Deere and the headers for that, the corn header, and that big what was that, circulating wind header. So I lost the tire map, I lost the earlier silage harvest, I lost the canola harvest. I had sugar beets growing in here. Well, I'm not much, you know, I hope he put some new things in. I'm not worried about cutting the trees, moving the trees out, getting rid of all the trees, getting rid of all the rocks. I'd rather keep them. That just makes life interesting when you're mapping out a field. I wish he'd go and fix Sussex and everything. I was to the point earlier, man. If he had been on my front doorstep, he'd been a hurt person. Really hurt. I know, yeah, it's a game, but still. When you have all that time invested, and then it gets all blown up. So we're back to square one. Make sure that thing's still on. No, it's not on Crate Fields. Okay, I'm gonna get it back on Crate Fields. So now we're back to square one. We're replowing our fields out. I'll do more off screen later on down the line, but right now I'm just gonna, I thought I'd get up here and just do a little live streaming and let everybody know that those previous streams, I hope you enjoyed them, but we're basically starting over. And I'm not a drinking man, but I tell you, after that little episode with the Sussex map and losing all this stuff, I came ace at jumping off the old sobriety wagon and going back to drinking. I thought I'd get the seeder, the spreader down here. I gotta get the lime spreader and the fertilizer spreader, and I gotta get the buy a seeder, buy a planter, get a tractor to haul it, gotta get a cultivator again. Now, if I had Farmer Pierce on here, we'd have him in a tractor or a truck hauling stuff back to the farm. Need to get a wheel loader. This field's about as wide as it was the first time I cut it, but it's just a little bit longer. I took it a little more down towards the pathway down here. So if you tuned in and you're sitting here watching me and listening to me, You might get bored a little while because I'm sitting here just recreating fields. And according to the map timer, even though it's in the early afternoon, it looks like the sun's getting ready to set the way it's acting. I've been asked how I do my fields, and that's how I usually do my fields. I map them out with the paint tool. What I refer to, I don't really refer to it as the landscaping tool. I refer to it as the Mario super paint tool. I usually do about a small square or the next one up, and I map my field out. And then I come in and I cut it, and any misses or hiccups that I don't get along the edge or any nicks, I try to straighten out with the plow. Not perfect, but I try to be as close as I can be. I'm going to get that over just a little bit. There we go. I think I'm going to redesign where I had the garden center and the spinnery and stuff like that. I'm going to redesign that. Then I'm going to get that BGA that takes sugar beet and potatoes and stuff like that, and I'm going to park it on the other side of the map. Well, if that's south and that's north, that's west, and that's east, I'm going to put it on the eastern side of the map. Let me get one more little cut right through here because I'm worried about overshooting and making a big nick over here on the end of the field. And the money's going to go back up because of those government subsidy signs, but once I get things built, decorated, moved, placed, get my fields cut and everything else, I'm pretty much going to spend my time just making fields and maybe creating other little places, little farms. I'm going to put Epic on here, Epic Journey on here like I did on Sussex. I'm going to have a Journey's Journeyman and Construction like I did on that map. I'm thinking about using those placeable marketing things like the vending machines, some other little sell points like Edge sell points and Edge Grains, Edge Silos. They do some good work. I think, should I go further down? I might go further down with this. I might go down a little more. I don't want to run right into the daggone pig enclosure, but I may get close to it. I may come down. Whoa, too much. Maybe right about here, maybe. Add some more length on this side. But I'll do that. I'll probably do that off screen. I don't want it, it's going to be boring enough if you all sitting here watching me do this. I'm still considering going into modding, but not modding maps, modding tools. I'd like to see a log trailer that auto loads from 6 meter on up to say 12 meter logs. If you did 12 meter logs. First time I ever saw one of those, I was watching this group known as the Squad and other PC players, but they had a log trailer. You just pull up to the big old stack of logs, hit the button and boom, they all just load up just like the hay bales do. I'm not good at loading logs. I can cut them down with the ponds. I can cut them down with the chainsaw. I can cut them to length with the chainsaw. I can cut them to length with the ponds. But as far as loading them up, if I went over here right now and cut down that copse of trees right over there that where I'm facing right there, it'd take me a good 3 hours just to load them, get them cut, get them loaded, and get them loaded onto a log trailer. And I've tried everything in the book, from the log forks to the manure forks to a telehandler to a wheel loader to a front end loader on a tractor. There's one manure fork I can use. I can usually manage 3 on the grab. And I've tried that Frankenstein, John Deere Frankenstein mod. And much as I like it, I'm not as adept with it like Mr. CLP, and I've been watching Mr. CLP do it, and I don't know how he does it. He gets them there. Of course, now he's up next to that sell point where all he has to do is just shove them in instead of haul them down, down to the main sawmill and sell them like he was doing earlier in his series. I don't know if you're all watching that series, but that's a good series. The Pioneer series. He's doing a good job on that. We all need to say happy birthday to Mrs. CLP. She had a birthday today. It still is her birthday. If Farmer Pierce is still in the group, you all need to say hello to him. He's got a channel. You got to check him out. He and Farmer Buttons do some amazing stuff. Now, I get here in Crate Fields and do a little bit of landscaping. I've seen Farmer Pierce do some landscaping that'll blow your mind. He did a farm on one map. Beautiful place. That's the man we need. That's a man that needs to be doing map modding. He's got a great imagination on how things should be. I'm hoping that I'd like to see the guy who modded La Campanella or La Campanella, those factories where you can make flour and canola oil and stuff like that. I can see those come out as mods where we can use them on this map. That'd be so awesome. And I'm hoping Jim puts more stuff out for this map too. It'd be nice. Although I would like him to put a bakery building in for the bakery sell point and put a garden center sell point in for the garden center, because all you have is dairy, you have sweet shop, you've got root crops, and you got the windmill. That's about the only ones right now so far. I think he's got, there's like 4, maybe 5. That way you don't have 2 sweet shops. On my last streaming of this, when I was doing No Man's Land first, I had a sweet shop sell point at the garden center that I actually put a sweet shop in as another sell point. It had 2 of them showing on the map. When I first started this map, it was a little bit slower start than we are at now. This got some of the stuff back in, so in a way, it kind of like a blessing in disguise. It gave me a chance to change things without having to do a lot of major changes. Because if I'd come back in here on, still have the save of this, it'd probably take more time, cost an arm and a leg just to change things up and move things around. Since we get a fresh start, now some other ideas that I had about putting building certain places. I can do that now. I'll change everything up. I had a lot of trees placed from the tree packs, and those eat up a lot of slots. And I don't know if I'm going to do that this time around. I may do maybe one or two here and there, but I'm not going to really lay them on thick like I did the first time around. You may be wondering, is it, hey, isn't that tractor overkill for that plow? It's only a 180 horsepower plow. Well, yeah. Well, I like this mod when it came out. This is the modded track class. I like it. Normally, equipment-wise, if it says it takes 250 horsepower, I'll make sure I have at least 350. I want to make sure I have at least 100 horsepower over and above. What the requirement is. And that rule of thumb is not really my rule of thumb, it's my grandfather's rule. Of course, that came after a nice little happy accident he had. And I can tell you, it was almost heart attack, stroke causing kind of accident, but also funny at the same time. Now, I'm cut from the same cloth as my dad and my grandfather, his dad. I'm stubborn, I'm mule-headed, and a lot of times I like to do my things my way, which I know if I can get the job done faster, quicker, and easier, but still get the same job accomplished, then I'll look for a shortcut to do that. Now, we had an old Massey Ferguson 35 TE, I think it's TE. This is about a 65 horsepower, 70 horsepower tractor. And we had a big old bush hog. This sucker could run on that horsepower, but the thing was, it was heavier almost to the point than the tractor was. So if you were going down, swinging downhill in first gear, it would push you down that hill. Well, imagine, I can tell you that, well, I'm trying to say, imagine a small field, probably acre and a half. Surrounded by barbed wire fence and fence posts with a sloping hill, and it sloped towards the driveway or the pathway into the farm and towards the barn. And my dad was bush hogging, and I was up in the hayloft of the barn. I was messing around, moving bales around. I was probably 12. And the old man, the old farmer that lived about I'd say it's about a 20-minute ride down away from our farm, who had his own dairy, he had a horse for sale. My dad was going to talk to him about it, and Told him, you know, you get a chance, come up and see me. We'll talk about the horse. Well, he showed up by the time my dad was about a third of the way bush hogging that field. And so he rode up to the barn, told my grandfather, I said, look, I want you to finish that field, but be careful. Keep it in first gear. Don't hit the brakes. Watch what you're doing. Be very careful on that slope. My grandfather, yeah. I am your dad. I know what I'm doing. I'll be all right. Well, my dad started talking to the old farmer that had the horse for sale. And they were talking, and about 10, 15 minutes goes by, and next thing you know, all of a sudden you hear this. Well, my dad is alerted to it, and he starts running back towards that field, which is down towards the gate, the entry gate to the path. The old farmer says, don't go down there. He says, I think your daddy is probably dead. Well, my dad runs down there, and sure enough, my grandfather, not paying attention, came down that slope side. It was kind of dewy, wet, and that bush hog pushed that tractor, and he tried to hit the brakes, and it slid downhill, rolled over on its side, flipped him off, came back down. The tractor was at an angle. The bush hog was on top of two fence posts, beating the living tar out of both those fence posts. It's a wonder it hadn't killed him. And now that was, you know, kind of heart-wrenching when it first happened. But that we, like, you know, years later, and months later, we laughed about it because like I said, my grandfather is stubborn. He's mule-headed. My dad's stubborn. He's mule-headed. I was doing hay with my dad one time. We were buying hay for his farm. This farmer had selling his property and going out of business, and he was moving north. And he had hay. Well, what am I doing? I should have. Like I said, I was going to park this right here. Well, he had hay for sale at, I think it was alfalfa hay, 75 cents a bale. And Daddy had this big long trailer, and you could probably get maybe a couple hundred or more bales on there. And he, don't want to get too close to this barn here, decided he wanted to get hay on that weekend. One more. Yeah, that's fine. That might be a problem for a harvester. That's something I could do myself. So we went over there and loaded up probably a good half a dozen times. And the first time we came back with the first load, and this barn's a big long barn. It's probably, I'd say it's almost a football field in length. And got over too far. I was telling Dad, look, we're going to use the hay elevator. It'll be easy to pull it in the barn and start working our way from the one end all the way back to this end, the entry end that we're coming in. And he's like, no, let's drop the load on the floor. Let's drop the load on the floor. So we started dropping all these loads on the floor of the barn, from the far back door all the way to the front door that we were coming in. And by the time we got said and done, we had about 7 loads in the barn, one on the wagon covered. And had we done it my way, we could have unloaded as you go. It'd just been handled once to load the wagon, and then handled the second time to unload the wagon up on the elevator, boom, into the hayloft, and ended up. We started at one end of the time we got to the entry barn. Just imagine like this is the hay barn, all the way to that wall back to right here, and the hayloft's above us. Now the hay goes up the elevator. I'm on this end. I grab the hay bale and I walk it all the way back to in that hayloft to the back wall and start stacking it. And I'm stacking it like 10 high, about 1.5 foot, 2.5 feet below the roof. So by the time we get halfway through it, I'm around here, and my dad's way back here walking these bales. Then he's walking these bales towards me because all these bales up front are gone. So instead of handling this twice, we wind up handling it like, it boils down to like handling it 4 or 5 times more than we should have. Both of us wore out. We started at 8 o'clock in the morning loading those bales, and he was worried that he wasn't going to get all these bales before this guy moved out. He says, "Oh, he's moving out Monday morning. Here it is Saturday. I want to get all we can." Time was all said and done. Started at, like I said, 8 o'clock in the morning. Time we got done, it was 3:30 in the morning. Covered in sweat, covered in hay dust, hay chaff, itchy, dying, starving, but basically beat to a pulp. Had we done it my way, it'd have been a whole lot easier. We'd have been done a whole lot sooner. And after we got done with all this, my dad's like, "You know what? We should have did it your way." That's about the time I could have kicked him out of the hayloft in the barn. It's like a pattern that between me and him that day that happened. I saw that same pattern my entire life between him and his dad, my grandfather. Same exact pattern. He'd be like, "Dad, let's do it this way." "No, I know what I'm doing. We're going to do it my way." Wind up doing 3 times the work. I didn't mean to nick that. Shoot. No, don't drive your plow backwards like I'm doing. It'll damage the plow. Yeah, I know this is slow and tedious, and you're all probably sitting there yawning and going, "This is like watching paint dry." Well, I'm sorry, I have to get it all back the way it was. All I gotta do now is just plow this a little bit back in. That's not a big deal. Get more length out of it. Yeah, I will, Farmer Pierce. I'll crisp up anything that's out of, nicked out of place. This gives us a little more length on this end, but it also puts us a little bit close. But I figure if I do one cut right here with a harvester right here where I'm sitting and go up, I think and maybe one going across this way, the harvester shouldn't have any problem turning around. It shouldn't balk and go, hey, balk my object. Let me get that tree going. Yeah, I'm thankful we got this landscaping tool. I swear I am, because you remember how awful I was cutting fields, making fields like on Mercury Farms. Had to get you for assistance because you did straighter lines than I did. Oh yeah, I know you have. Well, I'll tell them about that big old Mercury Farms silage fiasco I had, where the forage and chip silo caused the silage not to come out of the bunker. All that time we spent getting that thing cleaned up, transferring all that stuff. Gee whiz. Well, what am I doing? I'll leave it right here. I'm going to plow this field. That's potatoes. You're plowing in potatoes. Yeah, I don't like the potato harvester. Even the biggest potato harvester we got, too small. Yeah, that was a bad day, bad hair day. Golly, I forgot how long it took you and me to get we had to transfer all that grass and hay and straw from one to another in order to get rid of it, so we could basically brush away or sweep away the frozen silage that was in the bunker, and then replace the entire bunker and start all over again. I mean, we didn't lose all the silage, but we lost, what, a good couple 100,000 liters or more. Oh yeah. I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was going on. Then, you know, talked to Jim, and Jim was like, well, did you place the silo before or after you put the silage in? I'm like, after. Well, that's why collision conflict is keeping that silage frozen in that bunker. I'm thinking about, once I get these fields all cut, what I'm going to do on here. I believe this season's ready, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the fields in, get the cell points in, and I may do seasons on this map. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle because there's no wonders like, hey, you can buy straw, hey, you can buy TMR, hey, you can buy silage, hey, you can buy chaff, you can sell fuel, you can sell water, you can sell air on this map. So it's probably going to be a nice little, and I promise you that money you see up there in the right hand corner won't be that high. It'll be down by the time I get the decorations and stuff done. all the stuff I want to put on here, and all, as far as the buildings and the sale points, I'm going to have the money back down to maybe a couple $100,000, and that's where I'll start. Even if I have to lease several cotton harvesters to knock it down. But for right now, the government subsidy signs are going to stay up until I get all my sale points and shops in. I guess I could pioneer this one like Mr. Silly P, but that would take forever, especially on this one small little field they start you out with. I'd have to do harvest after harvest after harvest of different crop of soybean just to make enough soybean to sell. This field's going to be the sugar beet field. I'm going to make a couple more just like it. That way I can have sugar beets growing on 2 or 3 different places. JoJo, do not go nuts. Big Mama A's out in the store resupplying some stuff that we're out of, and he's been whining ever since she left, and he keeps running to the basement door because that's where she'll be coming in from. I'm going to put this up for right now. Get a little organization going. I've worked that one a little bit today, so I'm going to work this one now. Here we have the T8 New Holland in gray, gunmetal gray. Before anybody complains, yes, I know it's not New Holland blue, and I know if I put it on New Holland red or that green color, people are going to be like, "Oh no, what did you do?" So I decided to go with a nice little flat silvery gray color one, plus the horsepower. Alright, let's see how our worker track. We're going to do a higher worker and see how he tracks. A couple little nicks right there I can take care of later. Well, on my normal time, I cannot believe how time has flown. Gee whiz. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I hate this. This needs to be fixed. Where they go edge to edge and get all of it. It's ridiculous. I'm going to turn him loose, and then I'll come back and just clean up the ends here, because I know he's going to miss. Leave little spots. Let's see, cultivator. Go disc harrow. I'll get the joker. There it is. Well, I could go nuts and go with the Burgo DLC. Get the big John Deere. I like the big John Deere. I thought about that. You know, I thought about that when I first got back on there. I thought, should I go all John Deere? I'm still thinking it's a good possibility. I'm going to go John Deere harvester. That's for sure. With that new one with the head with the corn headers and that wind tunnel header and everything. So maybe I might go John Deere. Who knows? Maybe along the way I'll get rid of this class and get rid of the new. I'll just go all John Deere. Have every John Deere tractor there is from 7R on up. Yeah, I'd love to have those factory mods. Take your sugar cane and turn it into like pallets of sugar, or turn around and make whiskey at a whiskey plant. Or even have a soda factory and make soda. Don't want to name any brand names. They're not paying my salary, so I'm not going to name them. I think next time I'll just reset the tractor. Instead of driving all the way down here, just pop into it. It'd be a lot faster. Do what? That tree had, I just thought about that tree. Oh well, he'll live. Uh-oh. Hang on, fellas. Turn that off. I gotta pause for 1 second. Incoming phone call. Twiddle your thumbs. Talk amongst yourselves. Be right back. Won't take 1 second. Oops, and I'm sorry, and I apologize. That was the boss calling. She was asking me about some other things we might be needing. I don't know why she don't take a shopping list with her when she goes. So I'm sorry about that long pause. Yeah, need toilet paper. Yeah, I won't see her. She'll wind up in jail from beating some old lady to death for a 4-pack. That's what kills me. Is like, how could these stores run out of toilet paper? They manufacture what, a few 100,000 or more rolls. I'd say even 1 million rolls per day. So how in the world did they run out? I'll tell you what's getting me. I saw a post yesterday. China is no longer under lockdown like we are. What do they know that we don't know? Did they find a cure? I've been, and everybody's telling me, oh, this will be over here before too long. Yeah, I read about your glitch. You said you had what? Those log rails down so you could hold your logs? And when you came back, I saw the before or after. Yeah, that's what. Okay, so well, he didn't encounter a problem here, and I know he isn't done. He wasn't done. Wait a minute. What he's? How'd you encounter a problem right there, dude? What? Oh, he ran out. Yeah, well, yeah. What'd you do? Put some placeable trees down from one of the tree packs and cut them? Is that what happened? Yeah, the trees I placed on here when I did this the first time around, those were decor. They weren't going to get cut. Bad enough they cost so many slot points. Now there's one pack that if you cut them, you don't lose the slot. You don't get the slot back. You lose it. Ah, okay. That's why he stopped. He ran out. Let me take me a sip of water. I just got through getting rid of a chow of tobacco. I'm gonna rinse my mouth out. If you hear me swishing and swallowing, I apologize. I know it's gross. I'll say, I thought well, let me get these little end pieces he missed. Yeah, I thought that you cut down one of the trees that was already on the map. And you had a problem. I didn't know. And then I read a little further and saw that you said you. Much as I like Jim, my thing is, Jim got some splaining to do. That's all I gotta say. Especially when it comes to that Sussex fiasco. I tagged him on that video I shot of it because I wanted him to see what was going on. He better not say anything about, oh, it was your PlayStation. No, it wasn't my PlayStation. Did you check your cash? Yeah, lost everything thanks to the cash fiasco too. Now don't get me wrong, I like Jim as a modder, but him having that attitude after he mods, that if you come to him with like, hey man, I got a little problem on your map. Can you look into this for me? Can I give you a screenshot? I don't know how he takes it now, but I know that he berated and belittled and pretty much jumped all up and down a friend of mine's throat when he came to him with a problem. Or does that mean it needs to be fixed? Can you fix it or update it? Yeah, I know he's busy, but fix your map. I'm sorry. Now, I like him. He's a good modder and everything else, but I can tell you one thing right now. I will not blow sunshine up somebody's butt and tell them they're the bee's knees when they're just as human as I am. I guess that's my problem. I don't pull any punches on anybody. I speak the truth and tell it how it is and how I see it. And if that hurts their feelings, I'm sorry. Grow up and get your big boy pants on. Take off your mini skirt and put on your big boy pants. That's just the way I feel about it. In that video, you know, I don't know if you saw it, but I was just like, you know, the thing with me is this. It's right or it's wrong. It's white or it's black. It's good or it's evil. There is no gray area. There is no middle ground. When you put a middle ground on something, you compromise your morals. You compromise the way you're raised. You compromise the way your character. And I don't compromise my character for anybody. That's just one of the things I don't do. I will not lie for anybody. I will not bear false witness against anybody. I will not say somebody's doing this when I have no proof. You know, if I got proof in hand, then it'd be a different story. Your Honor, this is how it happened. But if there's no proof, I'm not going to sit there on a witness stand and testify against somebody when they're not in the wrong. But I think if you're a modder and you mod stuff and stuff like that, you should have some time for your fans and your people, and you should be able to listen to them. Because that's what keeps you going. After that happened on that map, I was like, man, I don't care if he ever puts it on another map or not. I really don't. You know, none of it has all the issues that thing had. My old man's always accused me of the same thing. You know, oh, you see, it's either black or it's white, right or wrong. You don't have any gray area. There is no gray area. It's like turning a blind eye to a child molester or a rapist. No, I see him committing a crime, he's going to get his guts monkey stomped out by me. That's for sure. I'll show him how a 400-pound crippled gorilla can still fight. Well, you know. That's what Big Papa A says, but there's times when I'm not. You know, man, I hate to admit that, but I could be a grumpy rabbit grizzly at times when it comes to certain things. Get my dander up. Yeah, with all this stuff going on right now, I don't watch the news, man. I don't read the news. It's too depressing. Everybody, it's the death toll, the death toll. Talk about the people who are surviving it and getting over it and living. This is like any other little pandemic or whatever. It's just weeding. It's Darwinism at its best. It's weeding out the weakest of from amongst the herd. I hate that it's happening, but that's the way it goes, man. Mother Earth is tired of all the crap excuse my French, but saying crap, but it's tired of all the stuff we've been doing to this planet. The polluting, trashing. I think every once in a while the Earth rears its head and throws something at us to try to slow us down a little bit, and this is one of those things. I mean, think about it. It threw AIDS at us. It threw swine flu at us. It's thrown the Spanish flu at us. You too, bud. I'm getting ready to call it a night here myself. I want to get this last field fertilized, and I think that's going to be it for my stream. I don't want to keep it going forever and boring everybody to death. Come back tomorrow night. Maybe we'll have some fields created and fields ready to be sown in crops. We can all get bored and yawn why I sow fields. Maybe you can do some light construction. You have a good one, Epic. Well, I'm going to park this rig right here. I'm going to tell everybody who's been here with us and who's been listening in and watching, I thank you for jumping in here with us, watching the stream. It's people like you. I do this. I do this for. I want to try to entertain you a little bit. Plus, it entertains myself. But I appreciate y'all stopping in. If you haven't subscribed and you're new to watching me, please subscribe. If you like what you've seen, hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment, please go ahead. Feel free to. Give me some feedback. If you think I can do something better, or you want to see me put something here or there, let me know. If you want to share this stream after it's done, the recording of it, go for it. I appreciate that. I appreciate you stopping in and joining me and watching. I'm going to try to make this an every night thing. Probably about the same time. I'm going to try to get on around 5, maybe 6 o'clock Eastern time and keep going. And like I tell my viewers who watch my Let's Play series, happy farming, and we'll see you another day. Y'all have a good night. Take care.